Our next guest is none too thrilled, claiming that if Congress goes through with that bill, it will pose serious risk and job losses for the alternative energy sector, which is really starting to grow here in America. Weighing in right now, American Wind Energy Association CEO Tom Kiernan in a Fox Business exclusive. What's your beef with this? What do you hate about it?
Well, our fundamental concern is the wind industry. Well, the wind industry has been growing so very well in the last 2 years, especially. In 2015, the end of the year, there was a bipartisan tax deal in Congress that phases out our tax credit, actually, and we supported that. We actually proposed it, and we're good with it, and that led to $50 billion of deals in the last 2 years and tens of thousands of employees hired in the last 2 years. But the tax reform bill that's currently being considered on the House Ways and Means reneges on that deal. It actually lowers the value of the credit and changes some of the details, undoing that bipartisan deal from 2 years ago. And the problem is it is going to lead to layoffs throughout the wind industry, in our manufacturing facilities, in construction firms throughout the country, very much in rural America. And it has already frozen $6 billion of deals that we're working on right now. So it just makes no business sense to do what the House is considering.
I have to tell you, I am pro-alternative energy all the way. I think it is the way of the future. I think it is a job creator. But you sound just like the head of the Mortgage Association, the National Association of Realtors, all these other people, many of them parading on the show saying, but wait, we're going to see job losses in the housing industry if there's such and such a cap on such and such deduction. Everybody's got a special interest. You got to have something more than that, don't you, Tom?
But here's the deal. We tax reformed ourselves. 2 years ago, we made a deal to drop our tax credit to zero over 5 years. So we already tax reformed ourselves, and all we're asking is that that tax reform that was agreed to 2 years ago, a deal is a deal. Let that play its course, because if you undo that, you're going to immediately lay off tens of thousands of employees. We just want that schedule that was bipartisanly agreed to play out its course over this 5-year window.
Well, maybe you got a window into this when President Trump first took over. He has rolled back many existing laws and either, taken a bazooka and shot up a bunch of them, too, and torn some apart. So going back to President George W. Bush's energy bill that really came through into law, imagine how the Electric Vehicle Association or solar feels. Solar is still in its incipient stages, it feels like. And what do you think is going to happen to them? I'm
not honestly tracking kind of their side of things. All we're asking is to compete on a fair level playing field. We already tax reformed ourselves, and so we're looking for that kind of scheduled phase out to stay in effect with the tax credit that was already agreed to 2 years ago.
Who are you talking to? Or who are you having your lobbyists talk to? Because I have to be honest, I have said on this show, I feel like lobbyists should be banned from the halls of Congress right now so they can work this out, and maybe there's a comment period.
Well, fortunately, Senators Grassley and Senator Thune and Senator Heller and others are working on the Senate side, and they're coming forward with statements saying what the House is proposing doesn't make sense. Let's just stick with that deal that was previously negotiated to phase out the wind production tax credit. So we're appreciative. Actually, our champions on the Senate side appear to be speaking up on behalf of just what makes good business sense and keeps Americans employed. And again, a deal is a deal. Let's just honor that deal to phase out our tax credit. It just makes good sense for the workers of this country.
Their plan is supposed to come out Friday, so we'll wait and see what's in there. So please come back, Tom.
Good. Thank you very much for the coverage.
Of course. Tom Kiernan.